Hey everyone, this is Adam Peltowitz, and I wanted to talk about a poster I saw today on a wall in a music building. I should say in a music wing. It said, "Leave it all at the door. We're here to make music." And I thought about that. This is an old poster. If I were to guess, it's at least 20 years old, probably more like 30 or 40 years old. I thought about that and how does that relate to how we teach music now and the students that we have now? And is that the right approach? So let's dive into what this means. Leave it all at the door. What are we talking about? We are telling our students to leave their emotional baggage at the door. Come in, leave your stuff at the door, and come in and let's focus on music. Is that the right approach in today's world? Well, I see lots of music teachers, choral directors, and non music teachers focusing on the emotional well being of students. And of course, we all want to focus on the emotional well being of our students. But what they do is they have a way of getting the students to acknowledge their emotions as they enter the classroom. They might have a card that they slide or a way to access how the students are feeling each and every day. And what they're doing is they're asking the students to think about their current state and bring that in to the rehearsal. This poster is saying the opposite. This poster is saying, leave everything at the door, come in, essentially ignore how you're feeling. You're here to make music. That's the old school approach. And then this new approach, which is tell us how you're feeling, is what a lot of choir directors are doing now. I am a big believer in the traditional leave your stuff at the door. Here's why. The most important thing we can teach our students is how to function in society. We all have issues, we all have situations, whether it's our health, whether it's family, whether it's relational. We all have these things. So, we need to learn how to be present because when we are present, we are not focused on that history. Those problems are history. And what I mean by that is they are not occurring at the moment we are making music. They are not occurring as we walk into the room. The problem that we have with our significant other, the problem we have at home, whatever the problem is not happening in the present moment. And if that problem is not happening in the present moment, we should be leaving it at the door because it is our past. Should we be leaving our emotions at the door when we enter the classroom? Yes, we should be. We should be focusing on being present. If we want to be successful in life, in any job, in anything, if we want to be productive, we have to be as present as possible, as engaged as possible. The only way to do that is to leave the other emotions outside of the classroom. That is a better lesson to teach our students because what we're doing is we're teaching them how to be present as much as possible. And the more they choose to be present in something that's productive, the more they're going to grow and evolve. If we allow them to use their previous emotions, the emotions that they're carrying in, as an excuse for why they're not going to engage, we are teaching them for the rest of their lives that when they go to work, they have an excuse for why they're not productive. That is not what we want to do. We want to teach them that being productive comes from being present. Past emotions are not current emotions. Let's be present and create positive emotions, emotions that come from community, from sharing, from being active and being together. If we can do that, if we can teach our students to do that, they will learn how to compartmentalize their life and not bring baggage from one thing into another. And I want to talk about a quick story. I remember many years ago, I was going to my voice teacher, and my voice teacher, he was uh, very spiritual. He really saw the world in a very spiritual way, and he shared that in every lesson. And I remember coming to his lesson and I said, Ron, you can't believe what just happened. I was driving and I almost got into an accident. This guy was driving terribly. And then I got to the bank and my card wasn't working and it was really frustrating. And then I stopped by at the deli and they didn't have the meat that I wanted to get. And then I went to the gas station and I had to wait forever for gas. It was just so frustrating. And I told Ron the story, one thing after another, after another, after another. And he looked at me and he said, you know, Adam, none of those things are related to each other. You know that, right? And I thought about it and I realized, you know what? They're not. But there is one thing that is related. I let my emotions from one thing affect the next thing, and affect the next thing, and affect the next thing. And pretty soon I'm bringing to my voice teacher 4 different things that brought me into the wrong space. If after the first activity, the first thing that happened that wasn't great, I was able to leave that and move on to the next, I wouldn't see a string of negative things that were happening. When you enter the classroom and when your students enter the classroom, we need to teach them to leave the baggage, leave the emotions at the door and focus on the present moment, because the present moment could be beautiful. The present moment could be fulfilling, and frankly, the present moment could rewire us to see the rest of the world differently. I hope this makes sense. I'm going to also show you that poster in this video so you can see it as well. In today's world, I think we should still tell our students to leave their problems at the door. We're here to make music.